The following is a production of Neural Network Media and is completely AI generated. It is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Sunday, February 15th, 2026. Welcome back to The Neural Right. I'm Ashley Thorne, and honestly, the world is moving so fast I barely had time to finish my espresso this morning.
Well, when you're dealing with a news cycle that's moving at Mach 1, Ashley, coffee is a luxury. Facts are the necessity. Folks, we've got a packed episode for you today. It's an action-packed lineup because the reality on the ground is shifting every hour.
It really is. Yesterday we were talking about Operation Metro Surge, those thousands of kids found in Minnesota, and the closing of the trucking loophole. Today, it's the fallout. It's the radical left basically declaring war on the people actually doing the work.
And we're going to get into that. We've also got Senator John Fetterman, who I've been critical of in the past, but the man is suddenly the last bastion of common sense in his party. Plus, Marco Rubio's Munich Manifesto and the economic golden age versus the Wall Street great taking.
It's a lot to unpack. Let's be real. The culture is finally pushing back against the rot. But the rot is fighting back hard.
Let's dive into our first story because it's a grim one. Ashley, you saw the reports from DHS and the DOJ this morning?
I did, and I'm sorry, but where is the media on this? We have a literal 1,300% spike in assaults against ICE and HSI agents. 1,300%. And a 8,000% increase in death threats. Here's the reality. We have an American citizen, Kyle Wagner, just arrested in Minneapolis. He's 37, self-identified Antifa, and he was allegedly calling for the murder and assault of federal officers.
He called them Gestapo.
Exactly. The irony is physically painful. He's doxing people, saying we are at effing war, and claiming he'll prosecute agents at the barrel of a gun. This isn't activism, Josh. It's domestic terrorism.
Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that these activists believe they are on some moral high ground. How do they square that with the fact that these same ICE agents just recovered 3,000 missing children in the Twin Cities alone? My wife, who is a doctor, has seen the medical reality of what happens to unaccompanied minors when they're lost in the system. It's horrific.
Right?
And yet you have Raiden Coleman in Oregon authoring a manifesto to attack the Portland ICE office. The police found materials for Molotov cocktails and an AR-15 ready for delivery. Folks, the law doesn't care about your revolution. It cares about the fact that you're plotting to kill public servants.
It's the victimhood industrial complex, Josh. These people have been told for years that borders are violence, so they feel entitled to use real violence to stop them. They see the recovery of children as a crackdown rather than a rescue. It's a total inversion of reality.
It's sloppy. It's intellectually sloppy and legally suicidal. The Wagner indictment makes it clear. Cyberstalking and interstate threats carry heavy federal time. If you want to change the law, you go through the legislature. You don't go to the barrel of a gun.
Well, speaking of people finally waking up to the law, let's talk about your new favorite Democrat, Josh.
Okay, gang, let's talk about John Fetterman. Because yesterday he went on Saturday in America and used a word I've been using for months. He said, and I quote, "There's a rot in my party."
Excuse me? Did he actually use the word rot?
He did. He specifically pointed to AOC and streamers like Hazan Picker. He said they're aligning themselves with pro-Hamas sentiments and that he's done with it. But the kicker, and this is what really gets me, is the voter ID flip.
Oh, this was rich.
Hypothetically, if voter ID was Jim Crow 2.0 as the left claimed for years, why is Fetterman now saying on Sunday Morning Futures that it's not a radical idea for regular Americans to show your ID to vote? He even said it's not Jim Crow.
I love it. He admitted he only opposed it before out of deference to Tom Wolfe. Here's the reality. 63% of voters in Wisconsin, a swing state, just approved voter ID. Fetterman is a politician, Josh. He sees the writing on the wall. He realizes that the voter suppression narrative is dead because everyone has to show an ID to buy a pack of Sudafed or board a plane.
Facts don't care about your feelings, and the facts are that every developed nation on Earth requires some form of voter identification to ensure the integrity of the franchise. It's not voter suppression, it's voter verification. Fetterman also admitted Democrats were very wrong to try to kill the filibuster. He said they hated it when the other side used it, but now they love it.
It's the lack of principle for me. They treat the Constitution like a seasonal menu. But at least someone over there is admitting that the rot exists. Because when you look at AOC, did you see her answer on Taiwan yesterday?
The word salad?
I love it. It put Kamala Harris to shame. She was asked about the U.S. commitment to Taiwan, and she went on this rambling tangent about strategic ambiguity mixed with decolonial frameworks. Honestly, I think I lost brain cells listening to it.
It's the intellectual rot we're talking about. You have a U.S. representative who can't give a straight answer on a major geopolitical flashpoint because she's trying to please 20 different radical factions at once. It's a mess. It's sloppy.
It's not just sloppy, Josh. It's dangerous. While she's playing word games, Maduro is declaring states of emergency in Venezuela after explosions in Caracas that he predictably blames on the U.S. This is the world we live in. We need leaders who can speak clearly.
Speaking of clear speakers, and I think we need to pivot here, Secretary of State Marco Rubio was in Munich yesterday.
His Munich Manifesto, I loved this.
It was significant. He basically told European leaders that the U.S. is not going to be the orderly caretaker of the West's managed decline. That is a powerful phrase. He's rejecting the end of history delusion that trade with dictators would somehow make them democratic.
I love that he didn't mince words. He called mass migration a civilizational threat. He didn't say it was an economic challenge. He called it what it is. If you don't have borders, you don't have a country. And if you don't have a culture worth defending, why have a border?
He tied it back to our shared Christian and cultural heritage. He's calling for a new Western century built on reindustrialization. He essentially told the UN they're powerless. It's a complete break from the last 30 years of State Department politesse.
Well, it's about time. Life is hard, get a helmet. Europe has been riding our coattails while sneering at our values for way too long. Rubio basically told them to grow up or get left behind.
And it's working. The pressure is forcing a realignment. But before we get deeper into the global stage, we need to talk about the man who makes this show possible.
Let's do it.
Real independence isn't free. This entire network, from this show to our flagship, The Neural Daily, exists because one man, Eric Christensen, decided to build it himself. He didn't ask for a government grant. He invested his own capital and technical expertise to architect a media platform that respects your intelligence. If you value that kind of meritocratic building, back it up. And don't limit yourself to just the politics. Get the full strategic picture by subscribing to The Neural Daily and the rest of the network. Support the builder, and you support the mission.
Exactly. Don't just complain about the rot. Support the people building the alternative.
Okay, gang, let's shift to the economy because there's a crucial paradox happening right now.
Careful with the forbidden words, Josh.
Right. It's a fascinating paradox. On Main Street, things look like they're hitting a golden age. The U.S. is the global leader in energy production. We exported over 100 million metric tons of LNG in 2025. Permit approvals are up 55%.
And I'm seeing the impact on real wages. For the first time in forever, my friends in the Midwest are saying their utility bills aren't eating their entire paycheck. Kathy Wood at ARK Invest is calling this a 3-year golden age. It feels like the coiled spring is finally uncoiling.
However, and there's always a however with me, there's a structural trap in Wall Street's plumbing that we need to talk about. Have you heard of the Great Taking?
I've seen the headlines. It's about UCC Article 8, right?
Precisely. For the non-lawyers out there, in the past, you owned your stocks. They were your property. But thanks to some very sloppy legal changes over the last 20 years, you now only hold a security entitlement. In a major financial collapse, the big banks, these secured creditors, get the assets first. Your 401k, you're at the back of the line.
So while we're out here drilling and building, the guys in the suits have basically rigged the plumbing so they can seize the collateral if things go south? That's the most victimhood thing I've ever heard, except it's the banks being the predators.
It's a legalized theft waiting to happen. It's why common sense says you need to look at where your assets actually reside. We have energy dominance, but we have financial vulnerability.
It's always the same story, Josh. Personal responsibility. You can't just trust the system to work for you. You have to know how the system is rigged. Speaking of systems being rigged, did you see the sentencing in San Francisco?
You mean the no prison sentence for Mary Fong Lau?
It makes my blood boil. 80 years old, she drives her Mercedes 70 miles per hour the wrong way into a bus stop. She wipes out an entire family, a father, a mother, a 1-year-old, and a 3-month-old baby. Gone. And the judge, Judge Bruce Chan, says sending her to prison would be sentencing her to die, so she gets probation.
Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that her age is a factor. Does that bring back a 3-month-old? The Portuguese family of the victims called it insulting. And they're right. This is the two-tier justice system we talk about. If you're old and remorseful in a blue city, you can kill a family and sleep in your own bed.
Compare that to the ICE agents being doxxed for finding missing kids. It's insane. And then you have the hospital in Arizona that's being sued because they discharged a patient, put him in an Uber, and he died on a hot sidewalk. We are losing our basic sense of humanity and accountability.
It's a systemic breakdown, but if there's a silver lining, it's in the TrumpRx rollout.
Oh, I love this. TrumpRx.gov. Most favored nation pricing.
This is a direct-to-consumer model that is cutting out the middleman, those pharmacy benefit managers I've ranted about. They've got 43 of the highest priced drugs on there for cash purchase.
Josh, the savings are incredible. Cetrotide, a fertility drug, is discounted 93%. Families are saving $2,000 per cycle. Ozempic and Wegovy are being listed with massive price reductions. I hate to use that word, but they are.
We'll allow it for medical savings. It's diplomacy at gunpoint for the pharmaceutical industry. The US-UK trade deal forced the NHS to pay 25% more for drugs, which means we pay less. For decades, the world has been freeloading on American R&D. That ends.
And most favored nation means if you sell it to the Brits for $10, you have to sell it to Americans for $10. It's simple. It's common sense. Why did it take us 50 years to figure this out?
Because the rot was profitable, Ashley. But let's get to the main event. We have to talk about Geneva. This is the Trump Doctrine in full effect.
Tuesday is going to be a wild day. Twin peace summits. One for Iran, one for Ukraine and Russia.
And look at the players. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are meeting the Iranian foreign minister. But this isn't a chat. Trump gave them a 60-day deadline for a new deal. Zero enrichment, period. Transfer all stockpiles to a third country, period.
And he warned them yesterday, if they don't agree, it's going to be very traumatic for Tehran.
That is a very specific choice of words. It's a reference to the June 2025 airstrikes. It's maximum pressure 2.0. He's not asking, he's telling.
And on the other track, you have the Ukraine-Russia talks. Zelensky was just in Munich criticizing the U.S. for pressuring him into concessions. But the reality is, look, I'm the anti-victim. At some point, you have to look at the map. Russia is targeting infrastructure, and the U.S. taxpayer is tired of funding a stalemate.
Facts don't care about your feelings. And the fact is that the U.S. envoy is there to broker a deal, not a forever war. The trilateral talks are about freezing the front lines and creating a demilitarized zone. Zelensky is rightfully scared, but the Trump Doctrine is about American interests first.
It's dominance and deals, peace through strength. We saw it with Maduro yesterday, and we're seeing it with Iran now. The world is a dangerous place, but it's a lot safer when the biggest guy in the room isn't apologizing for his presence.
It's about velocity, Ashley. The speed at which this administration is moving is designed to overwhelm the opposition before they can even file a motion to stay. It's how I used to write my scripts. Well, the ones they rejected in Hollywood. Fast-paced, high stakes.
Well, Hollywood's loss is our gain, Josh. But even in the world of high-stakes diplomacy, we still have the Olympics. And honestly, my get a helmet mantra has never been more relevant.
You're talking about Lindsey Vonn?
Lindsey Vonn, 41 years old, a ruptured ACL 9 days before the race. She tries to compete in the downhill, clips a gate 13 seconds in and breaks her leg. Airlifted out.
It's a cautionary tale.
isn't it? The line between inspiration and dangerous limits.
I respect the strength, I really do. But at some point, personal responsibility means knowing when your body says no. Then you've got Chloe Kim losing to a South Korean teenager after competing with a dislocated shoulder. These games are a literal sporting opera of pain.
And culture. Don't forget the Ukrainian skeleton racer Vladislav Haraskevich, who was disqualified because he refused to change his helmet that had the names of fallen coaches on it. The IOC calls it political, but for him, it's his reality.
Sigh. The IOC will censor a helmet with names of dead coaches, but they'll we know their track record on inclusivity. It's just more of that 2026 absurdity.
It's the fragmentation of the shared experience, Ashley. We don't even have a neutral Olympics anymore. Everything is a battleground.
Everything except this show.
Well, we have our own battles, but at least they're based on data.
All right, folks, we've covered a lot today, from the 1,300% spike in assaults on our agents, to Fetterman finally finding his spine on voter ID, to the high-stakes chess match in Geneva.
The common thread? Reality is reasserting itself. Whether it's Rubio calling out Western decline or TrumpRx cutting out the pharmaceutical middlemen, the common sense revolution is happening in real time.
It's simple. Life is hard. Get a helmet. Stop being a victim. Start being a builder. And for heaven's sake, check your 401k for those security entitlements Josh mentioned.
Facts don't care about your feelings, gang. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll see you tomorrow for another dose of reality.
I'm Ashley Thorne.
And I'm Josh Cohen. This is